go overseas.
Yeah, you'd have to fight in Europe. You get fighting the Holland guys. Like all those guys in Holland were a bunch of bad motherfuckers came out of there. Like, in that area.
Declan.
Ramon Deckers.
Ooh, yeah, you know Declan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many guys that have come out of Holland. Ernesto Hoost, Rob Kamen. I mean, just Peter Ertz. Just a sea of killers. Rico Verhoeven, the guy who's
So
It's crazy how big kickboxing is in Holland as opposed to America.
Yeah, but Holland, Europe, it's a lot bigger than it is here.
So
Sometimes you gotta breathe out. Sometimes you gotta keep your breath in.
I think this is the problem, right? Is kickboxing has not had the limelight as what boxing has, right? So when you say someone's been the heavyweight champion of the world for 1 or 2 years, like, oh, he's got to be a hard motherfucker. Rico has been the world kickboxing champion for 14 years in a fucking row. He's never once been knocked out. He is humongous. He's over, I'm gonna say 125, 130 kilo, 6'5", 6'6", just a huge human being. Hands like shovels, feet like fucking Wreck-It Ralph. And I can honestly, hand on heart, say, if you were to give me any man on the planet to stand and fight King Kong with, right? And give me any single man on the planet.
very fit for a heavyweight. You have crazy cardio. That's one of the things that I've always admired about your fighting style. So you put insane pressure on guys.
Joe Rogan has watched every kind of fighter there is. He has been ringside at UFC events for over 25 years. He has broken down the footwork of champions, the chin of legends, and the psychology of men who walk toward danger for a living. He is not easily impressed. He is not the kind of man who reaches for superlatives without meaning them.
sea of killers. Rico Verhoeven, the guy who's the champ right now.
He's the man.
Oh, he's an animal. He's an animal.
Remember that guy? He beat that guy with killing everybody. What's that Muslim guy? Come on.
Oh, yeah.
The big crazy guy. He was
Badr
killing,
Hari.
Yeah, he was killing everybody.
Yes. Badr Hari dropped him twice. He was still in that fight.
Which is crazy because you've had a lot of fights, right?
Yeah, I had about 60, 70 fights.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is Rico Verhoeven, 6'5", 265 pounds, 12 consecutive years as the undisputed glory heavyweight world champion, a reign so long, so dominant, and so relentless that no other name in the history of that championship even comes close.
And especially with the weight difference is as soon as I clip him, yeah, he's gonna feel that. It's gonna be like at least a 20 kilo difference. This is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just the start.
Really? What else do you want to do? What else do you want to achieve?
No, I'm not focused on what's next. For me, is like, actually, if we like look at it, what is next after this? I've beaten the unbeatable guy. Maybe there's nothing next. I don't know. But for me, basically, now it's just focused on the task that's ahead. And that's Alexander Usyk. And we'll see what happens after.
Go into a fight house during camp is because what works for me is to take myself out of my daily routine. Not taking the kids to school, making them sandwiches. Hey Dad, can you do this? Hey Dad, can you do that? And I can just focus on what I need to be doing. And that is training, resting, and eating. And just focus on that, studying, analyzing the fight.
And right now, he is preparing for the biggest challenge of his entire sporting life. May 23rd, 2026, the Pyramids of Giza, Egypt, against Alexander Usyk, the undisputed heavyweight boxing champion of the world, 24-0, 15 knockouts. The best pure boxer on the planet. Most people dismissed this matchup the second it was announced. Kickboxer versus undisputed champion. 0 professional boxing bouts versus 24. It felt like a story with an obvious ending. But then Joe Rogan opened his mouth. Then Mike Tyson backed him up. Then Tom Aspinall walked into the conversation. Then Eddie Hall delivered one of the most honest speeches you will hear ahead of any fight this year. And suddenly, the people who were laughing got very quiet.
If you were to give me any man on the planet to stand and fight King Kong with, right? And give me any single man on the planet, I'd pick Rico Verhoeven, because to me, he is the hardest motherfucker I have ever met. You put Usyk, AJ, Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou, Alex Pereira, Conor McGregor, line them all up, right? And say, right, which one would you want to fight the least? Fucking Rico Verhoeven. He is that dangerous of a man. And with the kickboxing, and again, people just don't know this, is kickboxing is like three-minute rounds. The intensity is fucking insane. They are punch, kick, punch, kick, punch, kick. They are just, they're fierce. And if Rico brings that into the boxing, I think it's going to be a big surprise for Usyk.
Rogan was speaking about Holland, about the tradition of Dutch striking. He named Ernesto Hoost, Rob Kaman, Peter Aerts, an entire bloodline of fighters who turned the Netherlands into the most feared striking culture in combat sports history. And then he arrived at Rico Verhoeven, the man currently holding that entire legacy on his shoulders. But Rogan went further than just the praise. He made a point that the broader combat sports world has been brushing aside for years. Kickboxing does not get the respect it deserves, glory in particular. Rogan said that Verhoeven's fights are intense action, because if they sat through even one of his title defenses, the pressure, the timing, the weight he puts behind every strike, they would not be calling this fight a mismatch with such confidence. Then there is Tyson. And Mike Tyson's opinion of Rico Verhoeven is not something built from watching a YouTube highlight reel. Tyson was actually present at a Glory event as far back as Glory 19. He sat down with Verhoeven in person. He watched him. He understood what he was seeing.
Kill or be killed. That guy is just die on his shield. Reckless.
Yeah.
He's wired
Reckless.
different. Yeah, he comes for blood. And the thing is, what you were saying, Mike, people love you when you do your best, and that's why they love him. Like, they know that guy's ready to go out on his shield. He's no quit. He's going out on his shield. He goes to war. And sometimes they get him, and sometimes he gets them. And he used to get them a lot more when he was younger, but that's just
nature of the beast.
That's just fighting. That's
he's
just
so
fighting.
exciting.
He's very exciting. He's one of the most exciting kickboxers of all time, because there's no point
It's
fighting
just like
with
an
that
animal,
guy.
right? With an animal.
Attacking. He's attacking.
To hurt you at all
Yeah.
time. Everything's to hurt you.
Yeah.
Nothing's soft. Everything's hard.
Rico is the kind of man who fights to his last breath. No matter what is happening, no matter what the scorecards might say, no matter what is coming at him, Verhoeven does not look for the exit. He looks for the opening. That mentality, the absolute refusal to stand down, is exactly the thing that makes him dangerous in a boxing ring where the whole world has already decided. Now let us bring in Tom Aspinall. Because Aspinall is not commenting from a distance. He is not a pundit sitting behind a desk with a highlight package on a screen. Tom Aspinall, and the UFC heavyweight champion, has actually shared a training floor with Rico Verhoeven. He has felt what those hands carry in person. And when Ring Magazine asked him directly about his friend heading into this fight, Aspinall was honest, and he was clear.
I've been training with Rico now probably about 10 years, so I've been back and forward to Holland many times to train with him. He's been here a couple of times to train with me. Listen, Rico is an absolute veteran of his sport. I know he's getting absolutely no respect by boxers, but the guy is a big man. He's had a lot of fights, he's got a lot of ring IQ, and although there's no kicks allowed, I think he's definitely got a chance. Whether he'll win or not against a man like Usyk, who's an absolute master at boxing, is still up for debate, but I think a lot of people are writing him off, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if he could win, in all honesty.
Aspinall went on record about what it is actually like to train alongside Verhoeven. When I am working with Rico and Dennis, every single day is a school day, he said. I am just trying to take in all the information, trying to do what they say, constantly being pushed to be better. He said it without a hint of irony. The UFC heavyweight champion uses Rico Verhoeven as a benchmark, as a standard, as someone who still makes him want to work harder. That is not a throwaway comment. That is a testimony.
When I first heard about this tournament, I remember having a conversation with Rico, and I was like, mate, are you actually insane? Why do you at this level, to be fighting these young, up-and-coming, hungry guys them guys have everything to gain, and Rico has basically nothing to gain. You've got to respect that. Like, it doesn't matter if you like Rico or you hate Rico, you have to respect it, because that is ridiculous.
And then Aspinall said this, one of the most honest things said about this entire situation. First of all, I think Rico is absolutely insane. He laughed when he said it. If I were him, I would be saying, I am not doing that. That is for the younger guys. But then the laugh stopped and the serious version of Tom Aspinall showed up. It just shows you the mindset Rico has. This guy still wants to prove he is the best even after years and years of being on top. The man has been champion since 2014. He still wakes up every morning trying to get better. And now he is taking that mindset into the deepest end of the pool.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, fine. 100% sweating when you're sitting there. 100%. You're like, keep your hands up.
No, well done, man. Really keep them up for 5
Now, Eddie Hall, World's Strongest Man 2017, a man who has spent recent years inside combat sports himself, boxing professionally, training with elite fighters, standing in rooms with some of the most physically imposing human beings on earth. He knows what genuine physical threat feels like up close. And when you ask Eddie Hall to rank the most frightening man alive, he does not hesitate for a single second.
He is the hardest motherfucker I have ever met. You put Usyk, AJ, Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou, Alex Pereira, Conor McGregor, line them all up, right? And say, right, which one would you want to fight the least? I think this is the problem, right? Is kickboxing has not had the limelight as what boxing has, right? So when you say someone's been the heavyweight champion of the world for 1 or 2 years, like, oh, he's got to be a hard motherfucker. Rico has been the world kickboxing champion for 14 years.
Hall did something that put the whole conversation in proper perspective. He lined up the names: Usyk, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou, Alex Pereira, every credible threat at the top of combat sports right now. And he asked himself honestly, if you had to stand and face any one of them, which would you choose? He picked Rico last, meaning he would rather face every other man on that list before he would face Verhoeven.
I'd say, if you were to give me any man on the planet to stand and fight King Kong with, right, and give me any single man on the planet, I'd pick Rico Verhoeven, because to me, he is the hardest motherfucker I have ever met. You put Usyk, AJ, Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou, Alex Pereira, Conor McGregor, line them all up, right? And say, right, which one would you want to fight the least? Fucking Rico Verhoeven. He is that dangerous of a man. And with the kickboxing, and again, people just don't know this, is kickboxing is like three-minute rounds. The intensity is fucking insane. They are punch, kick, punch, kick, punch, kick. They are just, they're fierce. And if Rico brings that into the boxing, I think it's going to be a big surprise for Usyk. I'm not going to say he's going to win, but I think he's going to shock the world. He's got every chance to win, and I think people are massively underestimating Rico, massively.
He is the hardest man I have ever met, Hall said. Hands like shovels. And if you gave me any man on the planet to fight King Kong with, I would choose Rico Verhoeven. King Kong, that is the image Eddie Hall reaches for. And Hall was not finished. He addressed the fight directly. Rico will not box Usyk, he said. He will go on the offensive. Boxers are not used to that kind of approach. Usyk is in for a surprise. 100%, Hall said. That was the number he put on Rico's chances. 100%. And completely all in. Peter Fury, Tyson's uncle, the coach behind multiple world title campaigns at heavyweight, is running personally to begin a 3-month preparation block with Verhoeven. And this is not a new relationship. Rico and Peter Fury go back to 2010 and 2011. That is 15 years of boxing knowledge being applied right now to the single biggest challenge of Rico Verhoeven's sporting life.
Listen, I respect Usyk. I think he's a great individual. He's a man of the blessed Lord, which makes us brothers, because I love Christ. So he's a perfect specimen, and he holds himself as a worthy, undisputed champion. Nobody could say anything else. It's greatness. So yeah, we've got Mount Everest to climb. But listen, he's coming. He's going to try his best, and that's it. For me to sit here and say, "Oh, I'm going to do this, going to do that," I'm not an idiot. You know, I've been in boxing too long. But he'll give a good account of himself, and he's not coming to lose, he's coming to win, and he believes he can. So my job is to get him to do stuff to see if he can bridge that gap, but there's a big bridge and there's a big step. So we're going to do our best anyway, but there's no pressure. I'm happy to be there. Beautiful event. I want to see the pyramids. So
Rico spoke openly about what it has been like working with Peter Fury inside this camp. For years, Peter always pushed him to use his hands more. to commit to the combinations, to load up on the punching power that kickboxing's rules never quite allowed him to fully express. Every time Peter pushed, Rico had to tell him, "I cannot do that inside kickboxing. The angles are wrong. The distances are different." But inside a boxing ring, Peter finally gets to build what he always believed was there. He is crazy excited, Rico said. He is like, "Finally, I can teach you to box." 15 years of patience, applied to one night at the Pyramids.
AJ, Dubois, they've all landed their best shots on Usyk. He hasn't gone down, he hasn't been knocked out. Why do you believe you have the power to do this?
I don't think so. I don't think they landed their best shot on Usyk. Because he's so, he's slithery, he's all over the place. So I think he didn't get like rocked the right way. In the Fury fight, he got the uppercut. He was rocked. He was like wobbly. So it's definitely, it can be done.
What weaknesses do you see in him? Some people say he's maybe weak to the body at times. What do you see?
I don't know. He's a phenomenal fighter. He's a phenomenal fighter, all around, agile, an amazing gas tank. He's like a Rubik's Cube.
At the press conference, Rico made his intentions clear. He did not speak about survival. He did not mention going the distance. He looked directly into the camera and said what he plans to do from the first bell. Knock his head off. That is what I am gonna do. And then the numbers. 55 pounds heavier. That is the weight advantage Rico Verhoeven carries into that ring. His point was simple and it was honest. When a man who carries that kind of mass lands a clean shot, it is a completely different conversation. May 23rd, 2026, the Pyramids of Giza, one of the most iconic backdrops ever used for a major sporting event. Glory in Giza, streaming globally on DAZN. And standing in the center of all of it, with the whole world watching, will be Rico Verhoeven, a man who has performed in front of sold-out stadiums across Europe for over a decade. A man who has never looked small when the lights came on. There are fighters who shrink under pressure, and there are fighters who expand. 12 years of evidence tells you exactly which kind of man is walking into Egypt.
Waarom ga je met mij vechten? Ik ben 40 kilo zwaarder. Bijna. Dus waarom zou je met mij vechten? Want alles wat ik doe is veel harder dan wat jij doet. Dus wat jij geeft, kan ik veel makkelijker pakken. Dus je vecht. Je vechterslust is goed. Alleen nu nog met intelligentie. Je vecht nu gewoon met, oh, ik ga vechten. Ja, superleuk. Maar daarom zeg ik op een gegeven moment, ik laat je eerst een paar keer tikken. Nou, je raakt me een paar keer. Denk ik, oké. En je gaat door, oké. Dan, op een gegeven moment denk ik, oké, nu is het mijn beurt. Snap je? Dan ga ik laten zien wat er in het echt zou gebeuren. Ondanks dat ik niet voluit stoot. Maar als jij erin loopt, boom.
Fights to his last breath. Tom Aspinall, the UFC heavyweight champion, said training beside him makes him want to be better. Eddie Hall called him the scariest man walking the planet today. And Peter Fury flew to the Netherlands, built a full 3-month camp, and is channeling 15 years of boxing knowledge into a single night in the Egyptian desert. The power has always been there. The nerve has always been there. The refusal to lose has never once left. The only question that remains is whether Rico Verhoeven delivers one clean shot on May 23rd at the Pyramids of Giza and changes absolutely everything.